This video provides an overview of the Philippine Multigrade Schools Monitoring and Evaluation System, how the system tracks children's access to basic education services, how the system tracks the quality of the teaching and learning experience, and how to jumpstart the implementation of the M&E system. The Philippine Multigrade Schools Monitoring and Evaluation System is a learner-centered, outcome-driven, evidence-based, participatory, and utilization-focused system for tracking, evaluating, and documenting the implementation of the Multigrade Program in Philippine Education of the Department of Education. The system unifies the monitoring and evaluation requirements of DepEd's different levels of governance, from the school to the district, division, region, and up to the central office. The Multigrade Schools Monitoring and Evaluation System is used to trace the whereabouts of all school-aged children, track learners' participation and risk of dropping out, and monitor curriculum implementation. It facilitates timely corrective action while making use of simple, local resources. The system has 5 main processes. Number 1. Program Readiness Monitoring is the process for assessing the preparedness of the region, division, district, and school to plan, manage, and sustain the delivery of quality basic education services to children in multigrade schools. Number 2. The School Monitoring, Evaluation, and Adjustment, or SEAMEO, is a participatory strategy for monitoring the school's implementation of the curriculum and evaluating its effectiveness. Designed to catch learners' performance issues, it is implemented before, during, and after a school year. Number 3. The annual implementation review is conducted by the PSDS to evaluate the effectiveness of school and community initiatives implemented by multigrade schools. It provides each district supervisor with important feedback on technical support requirements of multigrade schools. Number 4. Results Monitoring and Evaluation evaluates the multigrade program at the school and division levels to determine the effectiveness of the strategies used by the school's division office in support of multigrade learners and the multigrade schools. Number 5. Impact Evaluation focuses on the intended and unintended outcomes of the multigrade program, as well as intended and unintended effects of other DepEd policies and programs on MPPE's target learners. It serves as the mechanism to check and adjust national education policies related to the operations of multigrade schools, programs, and projects. Let us focus on the SEAMEO, which is the most time-intensive of the 5 M&E processes. SEAMEO tracks 4 types of results. 1. Impact on learners' entry to grade 7 and performance at the secondary level. 2. Participation and performance of multigrade learners while in a multigrade school setting. 3. Efficiency of the multigrade school and community stakeholders to deliver quality basic education services in remote or disadvantaged communities. And 4. Timeliness and quality of support received by a multigrade school from DepEd's district and division offices. 3 types of SEAMEO are conducted in a given school year. The June SEAMEO aims to bring all school-aged children in school by tracking incoming and returning learners. The August, October, and January SEAMEO is for tracking pupils and students at risk of dropping out, learners' academic performance, and the implementation of the curriculum. They are designed to improve the teaching and learning process of the multigrade school. The April SEAMEO is the end-of-school-year monitoring to evaluate the school's effectiveness in bringing and retaining children in school and in improving learners' performance. SEAMEO performance dashboards are used to show the overall effectiveness of a school in realizing its performance indicators. They have several benefits. Number 1. SEAMEO dashboards allow the school and stakeholders to focus on major performance indicators. Number 2. SEAMEO dashboards facilitate agreements among the school's stakeholders. Number 3. SEAMEO dashboards lessen data preparation by focusing on information relevant to performance gaps. Number 4. For district and division supervisors, SEAMEO dashboards offer a quick snapshot of performance to be used as a guide in prioritizing technical assistance. There are 3 types of SEAMEO performance dashboards. Number 1. The SEAMEO dashboard for managing access. To be used after school opening, this dashboard provides a snapshot of the school's performance on access. It uses these progress marker indicators. 1. Percentage of mapped 5-year-old children in the community who are in school. 2. Percentage of mapped children in community who are in school. 3. Percentage of learners from previous school year who return to school in the current school year. 4. Percentage of graduates or completers who proceeded to the next grade level. Number 2. The SEAMEO dashboard for managing dropout and performance concerns. This dashboard is used to manage pupils or students at risk of dropping out and to address learners having academic performance issues. These are the progress marker indicators used in this dashboard. Number 1. Percentage of pardos. Number 2. Percentage of learners at or above passing rate in the periodical tests. And number 3. Percentage competencies covered by teachers. Number 3. The SEAMEO dashboard for reporting school year and performance. The school uses this dashboard to evaluate its effectiveness in implementing the curriculum and school-based management at the end of school year. It is not to be used for corrective actions, but for improving school strategies in the next school year. How the M&E system tracks access. The M&E system tracks both access and quality performance using various tools and techniques. Community mapping of learners' whereabouts is a process where participants prepare a map to show the location and number of school-aged children in the community, as well as the factors that motivate or prevent learners from going to school. Here's a suggested process for mapping learners' whereabouts. Step 1 is drawing the community map. Before conducting the mapping session with the community stakeholders, the multigrade school prepares a map of the community. This may involve getting help from barangay officials to determine the boundaries between areas. The drawing need not be perfect, but accurate enough to determine the delineation of areas or sites. Step 2 is dot mapping of children who are in school. The multigrade teachers convene the learners in school. Teachers discuss the objectives of the activity, which include 1. Locating where children live. 2. Identifying neighbors or playmates who they think should be in school but are not in school. And 3. Identifying areas where it's difficult to go to and from the school. Step 3 is mapping the learners with a community. The multigrade school involves key community stakeholders who have unique knowledge of the households, terrain, and other relevant information about life in the community. Using the output of dot mapping in Step 2, the community adds more detailed information to the map, such as the location of children not yet identified in the map, relevant landmarks in the community like terrain, roads, and rivers, and dangerous or disaster-prone areas. Step 3 aims to provide a more accurate count and whereabouts of all learners in the community. Step 4 is validating the data. After determining the number of children in the community, the multigrade school compares the learner's whereabouts map with existing documents from other agencies in the area. This is to validate and enhance the learner's whereabouts map. Such agencies include the Barangay Local Government Unit or Purok Leaders, Barangay Health Workers and Social Workers, nearby public or private schools, alternative learning system facilitators, and other development workers operating in the community. Step 5 is finalizing the learner's whereabouts map. After data validation, the multigrade school finalizes the learner's whereabouts map, including a list of households in the community, households with children, and households whose children are in school and not in school. The final map will be used as baseline or reference material when tracking learners' whereabouts every school year in the June School Monitoring, Evaluation, and Plan Adjustment. The learner's whereabouts map provides information to the schools division to identify which schools are able or not able to bring school-aged children to school. This information allows the schools division to prioritize schools or areas with poor access performance, strengthen access strategies in such areas, and understand the local conditions and challenges affecting access. As input to district-level monitoring, evaluation, and plan adjustment, the learner's whereabouts map is critical to the schools division's programs on improving access, reducing dropouts and school leavers, and reducing absenteeism. Using the learner's whereabouts map, the district supervisor is able to identify communities with low kindergarten intake and low participation rate and the appropriate priority actions for them. How the M&E system tracks quality. One of the core mandates of the Department of Education is the delivery of the curriculum. How teachers perform in delivering the teaching and learning process influences how learners perform. However, there is no systematic process in place for determining teachers' coverage of the curriculum. Tracking curriculum implementation helps identify competencies that are difficult to teach, competencies that learners and teachers find difficult, and competencies requiring support resources. Having this information allows the school to immediately address these issues and perform corrective actions. There are immediate benefits in tracking curriculum implementation. It can help identify areas where teachers need further training based on actual needs. It can help promote the use of different teaching techniques. Feedback on least mastered competencies helps teachers deliver the curriculum more creatively, effectively, and more interesting for learners. It can provide critical inputs to curriculum improvement. Competencies that are least mastered and least covered or skipped should be documented and used as input when adjusting the curriculum and other support policies. Tracking curriculum implementation can also highlight the impact of the lack of learning resources. Efficiency and effectiveness in curriculum delivery should be analyzed in terms of the availability and usage of learning materials, learning facilities, and other support infrastructures. It can also highlight the effectiveness of instructional supervision. Skipping or failing to cover certain competencies should be a red flag for school heads. A low percentage of competencies covered may suggest the need for more instruction supervision or more technical support on supervision for the school head. The tool for tracking competencies covered is used by teachers for tracking and recording the competencies they have covered vis-a-vis competencies outlined in their budget of work, daily lesson plan, and daily lesson log. This data capture tool will be used to document commonly covered and least covered competencies. At the school and district level, the same tool can be used by the school head and district supervisor in tracking the implementation of the curriculum. This will also be used as one of the reference materials in the SEAMEO for August, October, and January. Another instrument for tracking quality is the Multigrade Classroom Observation Tool. This tool is designed to support effective instructional practices in multigrade setups and relies on the application of the growth mindset. The tool covers all elements of instructional delivery and contains clear indicators of what is expected in a multigrade classroom that supports learning for diverse pupils and promotes reflective teaching. It includes the following. Number 1. Lesson plan and lesson organization. Number 2. Instructional practices and strategies, including lesson delivery, use of instructional materials and technology, support for diverse learners, and learning assessment. Number 3. Learner response. Number 4. Classroom environment and culture, including classroom structure, classroom culture, and class management. Number 5. Remedial and enrichment activities. To optimize the use of this tool, it is best that every multigrade teacher has a copy of it at the start of the school year. It is unlikely that all elements of multigrade instructional delivery would be documented in a single classroom visit. You have to decide which among these elements would be the observation focus. Inform the teacher which multigrade element is the target of your observation and when this will be done. Fill in the details about the class to be observed. Note the date of observation. Multiple observations of the same multigrade element over a school year would be good basis for supporting effective multigrade teacher practices. This can track progress in specific instructional areas over time. Since observing the multigrade classroom covers a number of levels, it is important to monitor and rate the instructional and learning processes for each grade level. Have a copy of the lesson plan of the teacher to be observed. Examine it carefully and mark the first section of this tool under Lesson Plan and Organization. Check each item under E for evident or NE for not evident, depending on the content of the lesson plan. Then, note the evidence under the Remarks column. With the identified element of multigrade delivery from the tool, observe the class and document specific details. For the elements under Instructional Practices and Strategies, Learner Response, and Classroom Environment and Culture, use the following rating guidelines and mark the item in the tool with 4 for very evident throughout the class session, 3 for evident during most but not all of the class session, 2 for evident during a limited portion of the class session, and 1 for not evident to any degree during the class session. Take note of evidence of your rating. For the last section on remediation and enrichment, mark each item under E for evident or NE for not evident and note the evidence under the Remarks column. Together with the Classroom Observation Tool, it is important to implement the Coaching Dialogue. The Coaching Dialogue aims to promote self-awareness and reflection among teachers so that they can bring their multigrade instructional practices to a more effective level. The teacher's voice should therefore be heard in this process. Effective coaching occurs when there is a dialogue instead of a prescriptive monologue that dictates how multigrade instructional delivery should be done. Fill out the coaching dialogue form by writing a summary of the strengths of the teacher and areas to work on based on the details of your observation notes. Allow time for the observed teacher to fill out only the relevant section of the coaching dialogue form after the class visit. For example, which multigrade instructional delivery element was the focus during the observation? A coaching dialogue follows the actual classroom observation. Since this is a dialogue, the teacher initially shares what she perceives are her strengths and areas to work on. Afterwards, the observer provides feedback on the quality of teaching practices of the multigrade teacher. The teacher, together with a principal or supervisor, sets and agrees on an action plan in line with the results of the observation. Both parties sign the form. Keep a file of this tool to compare future observations of the same teacher, especially if the focus is on the same multigrade delivery element. Jumpstarting the M&E system. Most difficulties in M&E implementation result from poor startup. To avoid this, it is important for all stakeholders at all levels to have a common appreciation of the system while having all education plans quality assured. Rollout should be slow but deliberate, with data collection focused on the teaching and learning experience. And finally, the multigrade school should continually review and adjust the M&E processes, activities, and requirements to make them more responsive to its needs.